Welcome to SveNFL.
What's up, y'all?
It's Jonathan Rollins.
Skip Misara.
And we're two Americans living in Sweden talking about football. Yeah, man. Week 16 is in the books right now. Crazy week. It's Christmas Eve is tomorrow. So we're gonna do things differently. Normally we reconvene later in the week and talk about what's coming up in week 17 and talk about the news and all the happenings. But we're gonna be taking time for the holidays with our families. So we're gonna just talk about week 16 and then take a break, eat some brisket, and then talk about week 17. Yeah, let's get right into it, man. We got some games. We had the Thursday night game. Oh, we had a bad week of gambling. Oof.
Yeah.
Week 16 whooped our ass.
This, gambling at this time of year, it's like the most unpredictable time of the season for sure.
So true.
So nobody would blame you for taking the week off of losing money.
Yeah, good point.
But I can tell you who didn't take the week off, Justin Herbert and the fucking Chargers.
Man.
What the fuck happened here? The Broncos kind of blew it, obviously. The Broncos blew a 24-13 lead in the second half. Gus Edwards was good. Some of those throws by Justin Herbert, they had that one where he rolled out to his left and threw against his body.
Yep.
Crazy.
Against the rules,
pass.
right? It's against the rules. Supposedly, it's like it's a no-no. But only a few quarterbacks can do it.
A lot of things happened in this game, but really the only thing I really want to talk about is this fair catch free kick. This was like one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. So I read that the last one attempted was 2019.
Oh, really?
But the last one,
that recent.
The last one that was ever made was over 50 years ago by Ray Wersching, ironically, of the San Diego Chargers. This is the last guy to actually make one of these fair catch free kicks. Now, if you're like me, you had no idea how this worked. So, so what happens is off the punt, the return man obviously is interfered with, right? So that was a 15-yard penalty. There's zeros on the clock at the half there. You can't end the half on a defensive penalty,
right?
Which meant Harbaugh had two options. He could either uncork a Hail Mary or they could do this weird, obscure, fair catch free kick. Now, two things make that play different from a regular field goal attempt. One, the defense, they're not allowed to line up and block it, right? There's no snap.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a free throw in basketball, sort of. The other thing that's different is that because there's no snap, the kick takes place from the line of scrimmage.
Right.
So what would have been a 64-yard attempt under normal conditions wound up being a 57-yarder, right? No pressure, no snap. Dicker, the kicker, pipes it like he was basically just doing warm-ups, more or less. And he also winds up breaking the record. It also winds up being the longest fair catch free kick in NFL history.
Man, imagine that Dallas kicker could do it.
Yeah. I have more about this later in the superlatives, but honestly, the Broncos kind of blew a chance to. I mean, they're still sitting pretty comfortable in a playoff spot. A lot of things need to go sideways for them to not make it.
They got to lose. They'd have to lose one of these games. Tony Romo broke it down yesterday during the Dolphins game. It was like for us Dolphins fans to have a little more hope, which is the last thing I need right now. But first, Dolphins had to win last night.
Yeah,
which, easy work. And then I guess the Shanahanigans. And then the Broncos. There's two paths for Dolphins in. I didn't know that, but the Broncos would have to lose either to the Chiefs or to I forget the other team in this, Bengals maybe. No, the Colts have to lose one, and the Broncos have to lose one. And he was saying the Colts haven't won 3 games in a row all year, so I was looking up for Miami. I was like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, the Bengals have a weird path as well because they actually play the Broncos next week.
Right.
But I think some other weird shit needs to. I'm not even about to go down that road.
Yeah, it's tougher. I think Dolphins have more of a chance than the Bengals somehow. Dolphins jumped the Bengals yesterday by beating the 49ers. But
yeah.
I guess we'll talk about all of that next time we're back. The playoff.
Yeah, let's move on to the Saturday games. This was actually really funny because, like, after a solid week of the NFL talking heads, like, regurgitating about how the Chiefs might want to sit Mahomes, don't risk making his ankle injury worse. Mahomes said, "Go fuck yourself. I'm him. Hold my beer. Watch me score this rushing touchdown." This game never felt in doubt, really. Kind of had me feeling like the Texans are going to be that early playoff round light work for one of these truly good AFC teams.
Exactly.
Stroud throwing 2 interceptions on badly thrown balls, certainly.
Man, the one I was like, I've never seen him throw. The last interception, I was like, I've never seen him throw a pass that bad.
Yeah, he threw. One of them was overthrown, the other one was underthrown.
Yeah.
And then the Chiefs put up points on both turnovers. Obviously, the scariest moment of this game was the injury to Tank Dell. Yeah. Touchdown catch, but one of his players fell and kind of smashed into his knee. It was one of those injuries that, they did not show on all of the replay angles. At first, I thought he had like some kind of a compound fracture because watching it live, there was definitely something sticking out of his knee that should not have been sticking out. It turns out it was a dislocated kneecap. His kneecap was basically on the side of his knee.
I didn't need to hear that, Skip. I did the gift. When you hear a song you don't like, gift. Yeah,
and
man.
It was it looked very painful. It was a really emotional scene after the fact. The teammates gathered around him. Stroud was crying like Tank Dell was dead or something. It's tough to suit up and play football after that for sure. But even before that, I didn't see the Texans winning this football game.
Do it for Tank moment. Do it for Tank.
Yeah, the Chiefs defense just played too well, I think.
Hey, Spagano.
He's got those, and also they reintroduced Hollywood Brown. He was effective right away. You know what I mean? Like he made some plays, had some moments that were meaningful as well. I mean,
Spagnuolo.
Spagano.
I'm thinking of my old coach, Dolphins' old coach.
But yeah, the Chiefs are gonna chief, and
Chiefs are chiefing right now, man.
And they're one win away from locking up the 1 seed.
Yeah. Man.
All this talk about how the Chiefs don't look as good this year. How many games they lost? 1.
To this day.
So
there's that.
Watch out with that. The Ravens played the Steelers, who have peaked. Somebody said they peaked. And
I'm actually starting.
I don't mean looking through their fingers either. I don't mean.
I'm actually starting to believe this take a little bit.
They weren't up to it to go against the Ravens, man.
They obviously look very different without my man, former Bulldog George Pickens in the game, and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, man. I mean, this dude, 3 touchdown passes, dropping dimes all over the field. Yeah. King Henry runs for 162 yards. Set up what might be the most exciting conclusion to a division battle in the NFL this year, because now these two teams are tied as far as their record is concerned. The Steelers hold the edge on the tiebreaker because they have a better division record. But yeah, you might be right. They may have peaked. What else happened in this? It was kind of a tight back and forth game until this very bizarre sequence of plays in the third quarter. The Steelers turned the ball over on downs around midfield. First play of the drive, Derrick Henry goes for a 44-yard run to get them into the red zone. But then Lamar throws a pick on the next play. 2 plays later, Rainbow Russ throws a pick 6 to Marlon Humphrey. And before you know it, this close game is not close at all anymore.
Hey, guess who the Steelers play the next 2 games?
Yeah, they play the Chiefs on Christmas Day. And who do they play after that?
The Bengals. That's how they're closing out this season.
Yeah, that's not good.
They're about to be. I told you.
Yeah, and the Ravens play the Texans on Christmas Day. I like them to win that game for sure.
Yeah. Do it for Beyonce.
And I'm assuming they play the Browns on week 17, and the Browns are
right.
Speaking of the Browns, we can talk about them. They were shit. They scored 6 points.
Man.
They were bad.
Yeah, man. Thompson Robinson, he ain't it.
No.
He looks good in the RPO. Like when he runs it, he's good at when he pulls it out at the right time. Unlike Tyreek Hill, and he can.
Dorian Thompson Robinson for me is not an NFL quarterback.
You know what it seems like to me? He honestly looks like a trick play quarterback, like the guy who lines up a wide receiver and then he'll get the ball and surprises you that he could throw it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's more like that. He didn't look like he's reading defense or whatever. 20 for 34 is not the worst, but he's not throwing it downfield, and I don't know.
Well, he threw 2 interceptions, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, exactly. And Burrow, we talked about that deep drop back. It's so fun to watch him play quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. And that beautiful touchdown pass that he threw to Jamar Chase. Man. It was a free play because Myles Garrett was offside.
Shout out to him, man. Myles Garrett.
And I heard some crazy stat when I was watching this game. Like
he had 100 sacks in the fastest ever.
Well, he had the 100 sacks. He also had Jamar Chase, the first 1,500-yard wide receiver in Bengals franchise history. And then you had Burrow, who was the first, like no one's ever he has 7 games where he has over 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards or some shit. It was he's the only quarterback to ever do it.
Man, imagine if they had a good coach.
Imagine if their defense showed up.
Yeah, they showed up outside of
Hendrickson, obviously, but
you know what defense showed up?
Oh, talk about it. Talk about it.
Them motherfucking Falcons, man. That Falcons defense showed up, man.
Can I tell you something crazy about the Falcons defense? I read this morning, and I almost feel like I have to fact check this because it doesn't make sense to me. Okay. I'm reading this from ESPN. After being held to a league low 10 sacks through their first 11 games, the Falcons have 16 sacks in 4 games since their bye week.
Damn. 4 sacks per game.
That's crazy.
What has it been? Tough teams?
Well,
the Raiders.
This one
Vikings,
would be no.
That's not Vikings, and then Chargers. No, Chargers, Broncos.
That's true. That's true, actually.
What do you mean?
That's true. I mean, we've played 2 bad teams and 2 good teams.
Yeah, exactly. It's been nice. Mm-hmm. Well done. Huh? You get some hope? You get a little dose of hope as well?
This is such a bullshit scenario. I hate this so much because obviously we win this game. Michael Penix looks good. 18 for 27. Lefty, ripping darts across the field. He looked really, really good. He did not throw a touchdown pass, unfortunately. But in all honesty, I think he probably would have had, what's his name? Kyle Pitts Jesus Christ, Kyle Pitts. He did a canary. He does a Kadarius Toney right at the goal line. He catches it and then just like hands it to the Giants DB. It's like, what are you doing? Like, Michael Penix looked really, really good. The run game was great. Drew Lock threw 2 pick sixes, which was helpful. One to Matthew Judon and the other one to Jesse Bates the third.
The Judon one was fun, man.
Yeah, that was funny.
I love it when an edge or a lineman gets a front 7 player gets it and goes. It's great.
Yeah.
There was one that got called back yesterday. It was like, don't call that back.
So the scenario is this. We'll get to the Bucs game at the end, obviously, but they lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Falcons won. We have the same record, but we have the tiebreaker because we beat the Bucs twice. Their schedule obviously is easier than ours. I think they play the Panthers and the Saints are their last 2 games, and we play the Panthers on the last day of the season. But unfortunately, we have to go up against Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders next week. So this game did not really tell me. It's hard to really know how good you are or how well this quarterback situation is going to work out when you play a high school team like the New York Football Giants. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like I can't learn anything really from this per se. But it's a good start, and obviously the perfect situation, to put him, like you put him in for this game. I mean, you're basically just, I mean, it's been a long time since I could just, sit back and chill knowing the Falcons were up 34-7 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we
and
talked.
Just not have to think about it.
We talked during the game. It was like, how does it feel, man? just relish this moment.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know how to feel. I haven't felt like this in a long time.
But it silenced these critics of not silenced it, but Penix looking that good made it where like you understand the benching, and there's so many people out there talking about how Kirk Cousins got robbed or something like that, and it's such bullshit. Like he's playing bad. He's playing bad football. But we want him to play some bad teams and look okay, and then go against good teams and look bad again. You don't risk that. I like what they did. And especially if the team is feeling like, if Raheem Morris is correct and the team is feeling like this is our guy, then to keep Cousins in is not doing anything good for the team. So,
I mean, you can criticize. I don't have any problem with people criticizing the fact that, they pay Kirk Cousins all this money and then they draft Penix.
That shit don't matter to the players, bro.
No, of course not. This was the plan all along. And I'm pretty sure the owner, Arthur Blank, was like, okay, we need a backup plan in case this Kirk Cousins thing doesn't work. So you can criticize it all you want. You're not wrong. It is kind of a weird thing to do. But at the same time, they had a plan and they executed it. They didn't want it to go like this, obviously.
Exactly. I think the best thing for Penix would be to sit and watch more and learn more about the offense and then come in next year. But so that makes me think this is something that everybody's feeling as they're watching practice and like, yo, this dude is ready. And Kirk is out here losing games for us. So I get it, man. You can't have these guys out here putting their careers on the line when you have stuff like this Tank Dell injury where you're like, I'm out here doing all of this shit, and this guy is out here losing games for us when we could possibly go to the playoffs.
That's a good point.
Going how many games without a touchdown is like insane. The starting quarterback.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So we'll I don't know. I think they did. It feels like they did what the locker room wants. There's no. Otherwise, it could have been turmoil if they would have had a bad showing against the Giants with Kirk Cousins at the helm, and then there's a chance for this guy to get his feet wet.
I mean, next week in primetime, Washington Commanders will be playing at home. The Falcons will be going up there. That is all of a sudden a very enticing matchup. We'll see how that goes. It'll be fascinating.
I think y'all win that game.
He's going to have to play his ass off in that game for sure.
I think you win that game.
I hope so.
Just keep the pressure from up the middle, and we'll see. They don't really have a crazy edge. I couldn't come up with a good segue for that, but the Lions beat the shit out of the Bears. I don't think we got to stay on this for long, except for shout out to Caleb Williams, 300 plus yards, 2 tutties, no picks. You know, it looked good. It was just a little bit too little, too late. Lions were just all over them at the beginning of this game, and Jared Goff is looking like an MVP candidate. If he didn't have that 5 interception game, I think Jared Goff would be having people talking about it. But
I mean, this is another game where it's kind of hard. You know, we're all a little worried about the Lions and their defensive injuries and whatnot. This is not a game where you can really judge how much trouble they're in playing against the Bears, who are just a really dysfunctional football team. Yeah. They need a proper coach like nobody's business. They got to fix this run game, and they got to figure out what to do with Caleb Williams, because as much as it's great he threw for 334 yards and 2 touchdowns, but I don't think you want him throwing the ball 40 times a game.
Nah. But he put that motherfucking cover 2 beater on a rope. That touchdown pass, whoo, that was beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, the talent is there, obviously. You can see it. But he needs help. Big time. And they got to fix that offensive line. I think he's like one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league this year, so that's not good.
He was patting the ball a lot this year, early in the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, the Colts looked like they were running away with it, and the Titans. The Titans said, "Hold my Christmas milk."
I mean,
I don't know. I was like, "Oh, okay, because we're looking good in our early prediction or flip 'em pick 'em bet." Everything was falling into place, and then the Titans started scaring us, man.
The Colts were up 38-7 before the Titans, turned this into a real. They wound up losing 30-38. Anthony Richardson only threw the ball 11 times.
Talk about no faith in it. I guess they didn't have to with Jonathan Taylor out here balling.
Yeah. 3 touchdowns.
Man, did this dude just did this?
If you had Jonathan Taylor on your fantasy team this weekend, you were sitting pretty. 218 yards, 3 touchdowns. You had 2 of them were long ass fucking touchdown runs. One of them was a 70-yarder. Richardson had a rushing touchdown too. He's again not an NFL quarterback. I really think.
Agreed, man. Come on, man. They're running the damn Wildcat. They might as well run the Wildcat.
Exactly.
11 throws. Ricky Williams had that one year. Ronnie Brown, the Wildcat. Get out of here, man. 300 plus rushing yards for the team. That's insane.
Speaking of non-NFL quarterbacks, you got Mason fucking Rudolph over here.
Rudolph the dead-nosed reindeer.
Exactly. He had like one really, really nice touchdown pass early in the game.
Yes.
Kind of like a Rainbow Russ type throw to Calvin Ridley, which kind of made you think like, oh shit, the Titans are here to play. But then, of course, he threw 3 interceptions. The funniest of which was one that was an interception that was over. Oh, no, that's an incomplete pass. And then literally on the next play, he throws an interception to that same fucking guy. I was like, what are you doing?
Are you trolling?
This is absurd.
You get another shot at it, buddy.
I was trying to give you a Christmas present.
Come on, man. Tis the motherfucking season.
Yeah. The Colts are obviously, they're one of those teams on the outside looking in on the playoff race too, but I think it's too little too late.
We need them to lose. Come on, Colts. Lose one. Then we got the Jets. They were jetting. Jets going Jets.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this song.
Rodgers had one nice touchdown pass to Devontae Adams, and then that was pretty much the end of the offense,
Pack it
more
up,
or less. this was a pretty tight affair. They could not stop Kieran Williams from running the ball. And
It's crazy to say about the Jets, right?
Yeah.
They're built to stop the run. Like, that team was like, you're not going to run on us. You're not going to score a bunch on us, which I guess the Rams didn't score that much. But they just turned into like this pushover front line when they used to be really, really tough on the run. It's crazy.
Yeah, and honestly, probably the most interesting talking point regarding the Jets is this, for anybody who's interested, if you have access to it, there's a huge article in The Athletic this week about the sort of, well, it's just about detailing the dysfunction of the Jets and the owner. And there's all kinds of juicy nuggets like Woody Johnson killing a trade for Jerry Jeudy because his son told him that his Madden rating wasn't very good. I mean, it's just like,
wow.
It's crazy. Some of the shit that's in this article is like, and they're quoting people in the building anonymously, obviously, so they don't fucking lose their jobs. The Jets are a fucking hot mess. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. The Rams are sitting pretty though, because the Cardinals lost.
Yeah.
So that eliminated the Cardinals. So now it's just sort of a 2-horse race between them. And then you guys eliminated the 49ers. And then, so now it's just 2-horse race between the Rams and the Seahawks, basically.
Yeah, and they just lost.
Yeah. So it's looking good for all you Rams fans out there.
Yeah, and all you people that betted on the Rams to win the division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We might win some money at the end of the year. We just got to get five plus right. That's all we got to do. We'll see. I got to read that article, man. Send that to me if you get a chance. That I want to see I love this, just taking in this, consuming all of this negative Jets media. Oof.
I'll send it to you. I read the whole thing. It's fascinating.
I love the Athletic.
It's pretty good. Speaking of Athletic, let's talk about Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders.
They were dead to rights, man.
So obviously
Jalen
Hurts gets knocked out of this game pretty early with a concussion. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie. I forgot that Kenny Pickett was their backup.
Me too.
I was like, oh shit.
When they said he was hurt, I was like, who was his backup? And then Kenny Pickett.
Pickett looked pretty good when he first came in. He threw a touchdown pass to A.J. Brown. But then it slowly started to unravel from there. And the Eagles just could not get out of their own way, despite the fact that Saquon Barkley ran for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels was just pulling rabbits out of his hat all night long. 5 touchdowns. He did have 2 picks. The Washington Commanders won this game despite the fact that they had 5 turnovers.
Yes, insane, man. They kept fumbling at first, and it felt like the
Brian
Eagles
Robinson,
were
I think, fumbled it twice. Right? Didn't he lose 2 fumbles?
It felt like the Eagles were trying to just run the clock out and just wait for Jalen Hurts to be back in a couple weeks. You know what I mean? It just felt like, all right, we got the lead. They keep fucking up. Let's just milk the clock instead of trying to win the game. And it bit them in the ass because it's like they got into that lull, and then the Commanders just were not stopping.
They gave the Commanders like at least 2, maybe 3 chances in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
where they could have closed this one out. The Commanders had no business winning this football game at all, which I can only imagine. Talk radio in Philadelphia is just going to be just like a
Sirianni, insane. He's got to go.
Unbelievable. So I mean, the Eagles obviously are still very likely to win this division. And then the Commanders, essentially all they have to do is beat the Falcons next week, and I think they'll clinch a playoff spot, if I'm not mistaken. But we're not going to let that happen, obviously. We're gonna go up to the nation's capital, and we're going to crush their dreams, because that's what we do.
Then we got the Cardinals shit the bed.
Yeah, they did.
Let the Panthers put up 36 points on them, and now they're outside looking in, not going to make the playoffs. And they had a very promising beginning to the season. And you want to look and see who's their coach, if it's still Cliff Kingsbury or not. Because this was a Cliff Kingsbury type year for the Cardinals, who are out, man. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, this was tough because they lost James Conner at one point in this game, and he was having a hell of a game. James Conner was unstoppable, 117 yards and a touchdown. I think they probably win this game if he's able to keep going.
I don't know, man. It looked like they just weren't up for it in this game.
They certainly couldn't stop Chuba Hubbard. This guy, 152 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then just some really, Bryce Young, there's something there. You know what I mean? There's something there if they can fix some things on this team, because the way he can drop it in a bucket. I remember watching him at Alabama. Yeah, I remember watching him at Alabama, and it's just like he was so fucking frustrating to play against. If they could build a team around him, I do think he's actually a very talented quarterback. These were the 2 shortest quarterbacks to play against each other in the National Football League, I think.
I bet.
But this obviously neither one of these teams are making the playoffs, so we don't have to waste a lot of time on them.
Yeah.
But the Vikings, how about these Vikings?
13-2, man. They will not go away.
They will not. They refuse to go away.
We knew they'd beat the Seahawks, but the Seahawks gave it all they could. Geno Smith was out here trying his best. It was a truly Geno game. 314 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. It's like, come on, what more do you want from me? I did what I do. All right, you guys keep trying, man.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back though.
Yeah, very concerning that the Seattle Seahawks are kind of back in this weird place that is somewhat familiar to past seasons, where they started out the year having a great run game with Kenneth Walker, and then somewhere towards the middle of the year, it just all starts to fall off a cliff, and suddenly they just cannot run the football. I'm sure there's injuries that could explain it. Yeah. But this is a good football team if they can figure that out, you know what I mean? Because they really struck gold with this Jackson Smith and Jigba kid. He's unbelievable.
I think they struck gold with Mike McDonald.
Yeah.
And then, this is his first season. And, I think they're going to be – after Geno, somebody's going to take the reins, and it might be a more pedigree, more of a, like a top prospect type of quarterback.
Yeah, it's a shame they could go get I don't know if they probably won't be able to draft a quarterback, but Sam Darnold on the other side of the field, he's going to be a free agent next year. This guy is like 22 for 35, 246, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
He's making a really big case for himself.
I mean, Justin Jefferson's the best wide receiver on the face of the planet, and this motherfucker's still, they're double and triple teaming. I mean, he's still got 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's just like, I
love that they talked to him, and he said, because Kevin O'Connell comes from that tree, that McVay tree. Justin Jefferson, when they first met, he was like, "Hey man, how the fuck does Cooper Kupp get open so much?" And he's like, "You want to know?" so he told him, like, if you learn the route tree from every position in the wide receiver thing, in every position of a wide receiver, then you're gonna be getting open. So that's why he's good in the slot. He's good on the outside. He's good off the edge of the tight end. Like, he can be used everywhere, and that's how it creates matchup problems, and he gets open. And it's so great that it shows, because a lot of receivers are like, I want to get the ball from the Y, or I want to get the ball, from the X or the Z. You know what I mean? Just give me the D ball. But he's wanted to learn the whole playbook. So that's pretty dope, cool, man. I like that story when they said that.
Interesting.
Yeah. But good for the Vikings, man. Shocking everybody. He might win Coach of the Year, Kevin O'Connell, because they don't look like they peaked.
I mean, that's a team that I absolutely do not want to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's scary, man. It's scary. And Darnold now, he's like mobile and shit. It's like,
and he's out here throwing darts too, man.
yeah, he's throwing darts. He's leading receivers open and like rolling, like running the ball too. Like, damn, he looked good, man. He looks good. And not to mention the defense is good. Oh, here we go.
Does he look as good as Drake Brady?
Drake Brady gave everybody a heart attack though, man. He made us some money. We called a pick. We said he'd throw a pick because I was just petty. I had a petty bet out there. But he still threw for 261 and 2 touchdowns. He threw for more yards than Josh Allen. Over 100 more yards than Josh Allen.
Yeah, the Bills did not look good in the first half. They went down 14-0 pretty quick. And had to climb back into this one. Thank God they had my man, former Bulldog James Cook. He was the man of the match for sure.
I thought you were going to name a referee. I'm just talking shit, man.
Yeah, James Cook had 100 yards, a rushing touchdown, also a receiving touchdown. He looked really, really good in this game. I thought it was kind of funny. The Bills were wearing their throwback uniforms that actually looked like the Patriots uniforms because they were kind of playing. They were kind of playing like the Patriots there for a little while. Maybe they got confused. But eventually they figured it out in the second half, and obviously the Patriots turned the ball over quite a bit. You had the Drake May interception. I think there were a couple of fumbles as well, which helped the Bills climb back into this one.
Yeah, I'd be a little worried if I was. Maybe they're looking ahead. That's what you gotta hope as a Bills fan. But to get more yardage, if the Patriots get more yardage than you, outpass you, then we got a problem with that receiver core. So hopefully they can reset. I don't hope that, but for the fans, they can reset and just be a blip, a glitch in the matrix.
Speaking of problems, we can talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars now.
Man.
Wow. Your boy Mac Jones didn't have a terrible day.
No, that was just...
They just... outside of this rookie wide receiver, Brian Thomas Jr.,
he looked
team
great.
just doesn't really have a lot of juice. They lose to the Raiders, who have not won a football game since September, which is crazy to think about.
They miss Halloween. They miss Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All type of holidays, man.
I mean, Brock Bowers has to be the best player on a bad football team.
Yeah.
I mean, he's inches away from breaking the tight end yardage record. He's pretty close to the top of the league in receptions.
Bro, can I bring up my bold prediction?
Yeah.
Big Brock Bowers game. I said 100+ receiving yards on 8 receptions. And he got 99 receiving yards on 11 receptions. I didn't bet it at all, but that was my bold prediction, man. I would have probably bet
so close
over whatever it was. I'm sure he went over. Man, I forgot to do a bold prediction bet.
I mean, this was just a dumb football game between two.
Yeah, we could skip them.
Dumb football teams.
Yeah.
So dumb.
This next game is kind of like that too, man. A dumb football game, 2 dumb teams that need to just both be out of it. And it's the Dolphins and the 49ers. And the Dolphins kept hope alive, beating a 49ers team. It seemed like every other play was an injury. Like, as we watch it, it's just like, boom, he goes down. Boom, he goes down. And the Dolphins pulled it out. With the run game, actually. Devon Achan's looking like a damn star, like a stud.
120 yards rushing, 70 yards receiving. He balled the fuck out.
Yeah. Waddle got hurt last game, so he was out. And so Tyreek Hill, he got him a touchdown. But Tyreek Hill, he looked like he's still getting bothered by their wrist. You could tell. But it was like the Jonnu Smith and Achan show with a lot of drops too, man. Tyreek Hill dropped 3 passes. 2 touchdowns. That were 2 put right on the money. And he's but I think his wrist, those cops fucked him up, man. That's so stupid. Such an avoidable thing. But of course, he's not going to say that. But you can see him favoring that wrist. And I kind of felt bad for Brock Purdy because it seemed like he was just like, "Where's Debo? Where's Kittles?" And it wasn't enough for them to win again and put me out of my misery.
How does Kyle Shanahan offense have Brock Purdy as his leading rusher?
Because good point. He was like moving around and I didn't know it was that bad rushing.
Yeah,
it felt worse when I watched it, but quiet as it's kept, and I hope it stays quiet. Anthony Weaver is turning into one of the top defensive coaches in the league. Miami is secretly, quietly. I hope it stays this way. I don't want them to get poached, but they have quietly become a top 10 defense. I was when Tony Romo mentioned it. I was like, "Excuse me." Is it like number 6 in yards or something like that in the league? I did not know that. So
wow.
I hope they keep it down, and we can next year. Another thing Tony Romo said is next year, watch out for the Dolphins. I like that, man. Even he gave all these scenarios, but if we go in the playoffs, we're going to be out first round. I'm a little concerned that every team has been able to take away the thing Miami's trying to do. Every single team has been able to take it away. And Tua is just basically checking it down a lot or doing some wheel route to like some backup. They have these backup things that you can see are set up. If they take away the deep middle, we got this little thing on the side that get us a nice little screen or some other shit. And it's nice, it's well designed, but it's not gonna win games like it was last year. So it's like back to the drawing board. It seems like every 4 games is back to the drawing board for Miami. And I just wish they'd just get a standard fucking offense that works instead of like overthinking everything, it feels like.
Yeah, I would argue both teams in this game are kind of back to the drawing board, but obviously for different reasons. I mean, the 49ers, after all of their in-season and playoff success over the last couple of years, they clearly have fallen off a cliff here. Yeah. And now they're facing the offseason of like, do we pay Brock Purdy? Obviously, Debo. I mean, I think this is only Debo's 2nd touchdown of the year.
Really?
They paid all that money to Ayuk, and then he got the knee injury, and it's like, so it's just been nothing has worked out according to plan this year. All of their running backs have gotten injured, so there's going to be some major shakeups on the 49ers this offseason for sure.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I had a question for you, man.
Yeah.
Who will Kyle Shanahan blame for this year's results? And it is a possibility that it could be he himself that he blames. But I'm just wondering, knowing Kyle Shanahan, who would you say he's going to blame for this year?
First of all, I completely disagree. There's no fucking way he's going to blame himself for these results. I think the first thing he's going to blame is probably just like bad injury luck. And ultimately, I think he'll probably try to blame somebody on the offensive coaching staff. Honestly, because he's too full of himself to blame himself, to be honest. I mean, he's tried to blame Brock Purdy a couple of times during the season. Oh, yeah.
You don't think it'll be Purdy?
But that's what I mean by, like, I think it's going to be really interesting to see if they decide to pay Purdy. I mean, you almost kind of feel like they have to.
The way he played, Purdy looked great last night. He looked great.
I think he's earned a contract. Somebody's going to pay him. If it's not, I think they're stuck because it's like if they don't pay him and he leaves and plays well for another team. I mean, at that point, Shanahan's going to be exposed as one of the biggest, as far as quarterback development. Yeah. He's going to be exposed as like it's just a straight out fraud, because don't forget how far he moved up to get Trey Lance, and that didn't work out. Yeah. And then he lucks into the Mr. Irrelevant thing. If he lets him go and he plays well, it's like, who the fuck are you? Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it looks like an ego thing.
That being said, there's going to be some enticing free agents out there that is going to be hard for him to resist. And
he had Darnold.
Sure.
He had Darnold.
Yeah, he had Darnold in the building.
Yeah. And we see what he's capable of with a coach from the same tree. So, just saying.
Overrated? Question mark.
Oh.
Just saying.
All right, we can power through this last game was Bucs Cowboys.
Speaking of overrated, Baker Mayfield, am I right? Fuck that guy.
Man,
hate him.
Did you watch him, man?
I haven't seen this.
I
haven't seen it.
He had 300 plus, 2 tutties, 1 pick, which is a very Baker Mayfield line. But watching him play, man, he's just so fun, bro. He's fun, and he had 42 rushing yards, but he was running all over the place. But they just couldn't. The Cowboys just looked good, man. I watched every snap. Besides, they can't run. It's so weird that they can't run at all. Kind of reminds me of like they don't really try. They only tried 17 times if you don't count the Cooper Rush. 17 runs.
I'm sorry, but I just love Ezekiel Elliott's stat line. He has 1 carry for 1 yard and 1 touchdown.
And the crowd goes wild too. They're all delusional. There's fucking Jerry Jones stands out there. But it was the CD Lamb show. He even hurt himself, but he was still over the century mark in yards. And Cooper Rush was just wheeling and dealing. And they got out ahead, and Tampa just couldn't get back into it. And at the end, they started coming back, and it was still too little, too late.
I mean, I certainly appreciate the Cowboys doing what they did last night. Because
and that kicker, jeez, he had 2. I think it was 2 58-yarders in this game.
He's so good.
He is so good, man. They don't have the length on here in this stuff, but I'm pretty sure that both of them were 58-yarders with room at the end. He just boomed them. All right, it's good.
I love his story too. His girlfriend or his wife, like he was a soccer player, and they were watching a football game, and this kicker missed the kick, and his wife was like, "I think you could do that." and he tried out for the USFL and made it onto one of those teams, and then
oh wow, that is dope.
And then so that was his path to the Cowboys.
Wow.
But he's only been kicking field goals for a couple of years. He's not something he's been doing a long time.
Better and better. Wow, that's cool. Then we got the Saints and the Packers. It's going to be tonight. So
right.
I guess it seems like one of these games that doesn't really kind of matter anyway. And we wondered why it was going to be the Monday night game. But we're going to assume that the Packers win this game unless something magical happens or injury or something. So I don't know. I don't have much to say about it. We could make a bet maybe later, but that's it for Week 16, man, because we want to enjoy our Christmas. So we'll take a quick break and come back on the other side with some quick predictions, and then wish y'all a happy holidays and see y'all soon. All right, that break was brought to you by Brisket and Friends. Brisket and Friends is great barbecue right here in Stockholm. Don't forget to order the SveNFL table breaker so you can confuse the shit out of them but get some good food at the same time. Barbecue's so good, make you want to slap your grandma. Brisket and Friends. Thank you.
We fucked the shit out of that thing the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, we ate the hell out of that. Didn't stand a chance. Mm-hmm. All right. We didn't do our superlatives. We'll run through those from the last episode. My MVP, it's a 2-piece. I got co-MVPs. I think the one that you'll probably say is Jonathan Taylor with his crazy stat line. He was just balling 200-plus yards, carried the Colts to the point where Anthony Richardson only had to throw the ball 11 times. But then Ben Johnson, man, it's not every week you get to see a play that you've never seen before. And the Lions, I wish they would have pulled it out in the playoffs. Well, they did a fucking fake fumble disarray, blown play move, and then got a touchdown out of it to Sam Laporta, where the running back falls to the ground, Goff stumbles over like the ball, and then somebody else fumble. And it might have been a defensive player, I don't know. But they're all like looking for something to happen, and then Goff comes up like, ha, ha, ha. Surprise, surprise. And throws a touchdown pass to Laporta. Beautiful play drawn up and executed. So those two, I'd have to say, co-MVP.
You the real MVP.
Yeah, that play was brilliant. I actually went with, for my MVP, first rookie quarterback to throw for 5 touchdowns and rush for over 65 yards, while winning a game in which his team turned the ball over 5 times. It's
Crazy.
Jaden Daniels for me.
Yeah.
Did it help that the Eagles were tripping all over their own dicks the whole game? Sure.
And down a quarterback.
Yeah. But make no mistake, Daniels was amazing. 24 for 39, 258, 5 tutties, 2 picks. So not perfect, but he also led the team in rushing with 81 yards, picking up these gotta have it first downs. At least one of them was a 4th down scramble. As much as I want my man, former Bulldog Brock Bowers to win Rookie of the Year, this performance probably wrapped it up. Jaden Daniels is special. He has instantly made the Commanders relevant again, and just really fun football player to watch. So he's my MVP.
You the real MVP.
All right, my trash is the just in general. Sometimes a team has everything to play for, and then they just don't show up. Normally, that team is the Miami Dolphins, but this time that'll be next week when they lose to the Browns. But this time, I'm gonna say my trash is the Cardinals. They had a chance to just complete this season, like keep going. At one point, at a large part of the season, they were leading the division. Then they go up against the lowly Panthers, who nobody should be discounting now. Panthers have been fighting strong against teams and losing, but still make you not want to overlook them. And then they still stepped into this game and fucking lost to the Panthers. They tried to claw their way back into the game and eventually lose. And that just makes me feel like that week, man, the Cardinals.
You are trash!
Yeah, it's a good one. I went in another direction because I have kind of an unwritten rule. Anytime a team's defense produces 5 turnovers in a game and still manages to lose, you give me no choice but to name you trash of the week. And I'm talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. Don't want to take anything away from Jaden Daniels, and I know the Eagles lost Jalen Hurts to a concussion early in this game, but this was just embarrassing.
Yeah.
It would be easy to blame it on Pickett, but if you grind the tape like we do here at SveNFL,
Yeah, look at my knuckles, white knuckles.
Yeah, you would see that there were multiple opportunities for the Eagles to put this game away late, but it was actually their receivers who kept letting them down. Both Saquon and Devontae Smith and Saquon had huge drop passes that would have just shattered the Commanders' hopes completely. And then there was that one play where the Eagles had 12 men on the field and still somehow forgot to cover former Falcon Alamaze Zacchaeus, who just walked into the end zone like he was playing backyard football, with a bunch of children. So, for me, the Eagles, they're my trash this week.
I can't hit the.
You are trash!
I was over here nervous. What shit I learned you got?
The shit that I learned is this fair catch, free kick, field goal thing. I literally had never heard of this before. The rule is been in the NFL from the beginning. It's over 100 years old. It's a rule that they borrowed from rugby, even though rugby did away with the rule years ago. This play is so rare that in the NFL's 100-year history, it's only known to have happened 32 times.
One for each team.
And in those 32 attempts, only 10 were successful. And you got to hear some of the names of the people who did this. Honestly, this is from 1920. Heine Miller.
Oh, good old Heine.
Heine Miller of the Buffalo All-Americans.
He was born butt first.
Yeah. October 9th, 1921. Elmer Oliphant. Elmer Oliphant. He did it twice.
Oh shit.
He's the only guy to do it twice. The next guy to do it was Curly Lambeau in 1921 for the Green Bay Packers.
No way.
Yeah. Ken Strong in 1933.
Good name.
He totally made up that last name. Paul Hornung makes me kind of think he's got Swedish roots.
Swedish, yeah.
Fred Cox, Mac Percival. The last guy to do it was Ray Wershing for the San Diego Chargers. And then, of course, joins Cameron Dicker, the kicker. I mean, I feel like his name is so belongs.
It goes with that group. Yeah.
Cameron Dicker could have played in 1921. I feel like.
Definitely. Okay. Maybe not
Tiny
Cameron.
Miller.
Cameron's a kind of new age name.
Yeah, that's
dope,
true,
man. Well, my shit got learned during the Bucs game. We've talked about a bit. It was a fun game too. They had a horrible sequence of penalties and negative plays, and it got them in a 3rd and 30+ situation. And that made me wonder, damn, where does this line up historically? Because I remember a big Donovan McNabb converted 4th and 23 or something like that. A huge one that he when he had bad receivers and they still got it. And that made me think about that. What was the longest down and distance in NFL history? So I looked it up. The longest down and distance in NFL history is 4th and 63.
Oh my God.
I don't know how it happened. I'd love to see the sequence. But it's in 1971 the New England Patriots were playing the Dallas Cowboys. And they had a 4th and 63. We got this, guys.
That is so bad.
It's like, what do you call on that? A draw? Hook and ladder?
4th and 63.
The longest converted down the distance in NFL history. Because I was looking at it, I was like, I wonder who converted something like that. 3rd and 37.
Wow.
And it was achieved by the Minnesota Vikings against the Denver Broncos in 1999. And I believe that's the Randall Cunningham Vikings. That crazy team that had Randy Moss and Cunningham, and then they end up losing to your Falcons. I think that's the Dirty Bird Vikings. But 3rd and 37, I'm pretty sure Randy
and that's
Moss
also the same year that the Falcons lost to the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah.
Because we beat the Vikings to go to the Super Bowl, and then we lost to the Broncos.
Yeah.
Wow.
Leroy Horde is one who converted it, it says.
Let's go, Leroy. There needs to be more Leroys. Where'd all the Leroys go?
Yeah. I want to see. Was it a run? No way. But look that play up, y'all. We don't have time to go through it because now I'm over here. I want to see this shit. It looks like it's a running play. Oh my God. They probably just everybody went back in to prevent.
Wow.
That's crazy. 3rd and 37. Good shit, man.
Damn.
He's running like his leg is broken. All right. But that's my shit I learned. Putting some spec. I don't have anybody to put spec on. I didn't think about it beforehand.
I do. I got 218 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. This guy was on everybody's shit list last week for dropping the ball before crossing the goal line. But Jonathan Taylor took accountability.
Oh, nice.
Saddled up in a must-win elimination game. And he hoped, sought, and thoroughly obtained redemption. Now, as for the columnists and the shock jocks calling for Taylor to be suspended or benched,
oh my God,
which was happening this past week, y'all need to chill the fuck out and remind yourselves that Jonathan Taylor is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Yeah. Man made a mistake, and the week after, he atoned with over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yes.
So when these hot take artists make a mistake, which is literally every fucking day, there's no atonement or accountability. They just ignore their bad take from last week or yesterday, and they just lay another pile of shit on top of it. Not Jonathan Taylor. This is a man of action, a man of integrity on the football field, and all these clickbait bitches need to recognize and put some spec on this man's name.
Nice.
Put some respect on my name.
I got 2 candidates I want to throw out there real quick, both from the NFC South. Bryce Young got benched, comes back, and he's just got his team fighting every week. And it's got everybody wondering, like, is he quarterback next year? They can't just discount him like they had done earlier in the season. So thanks to whatever bad driver was out there, probably a woman, that I'm just kidding, that got the Red Rifle injured.
I'm still convinced it was David Tepper who ran into his car.
And shout out to your quarterback, Michael Penix, doing it for the lefties out there, looking good, looking poised. They said poised 20 times during the game, but he did look poised, and he told everybody,
put some respect on my name.
So yeah, that's 2 that I would throw out there real quick. All right,
nice.
Let's do some flip and pick 'em.
Let's do it.
You're calling this time.
Oh, I'm calling it? Okay.
I got wrong last week.
All right. I'm going to call tails.
All right. Tails been off, bro.
You're right. It's heads.
I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
And Chiefs Steelers, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs to beat the Steelers, who have peaked.
Okay. Okay, you're probably right. These are the Christmas Day games, by the way. This game starts at 7:00 our time over here in Europe. Next up, we got Ravens versus the Texans in the 10:30 window, the bourbon slate, as we call it. I probably, to be fair, will have already had a couple of bourbons before that.
Oof, I made eggnog.
Christmas. Oh shit! Look out!
Eggnog got bourbon in it.
I fully expect the Ravens to win this game. I think the Texans. I think you're right. I think the Texans peaked last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens.
Man, we might have a Christmas away parlay because we're picking these away teams, and that continues the next game. The Seahawks are playing the Bears on Thursday night, and I think the Seahawks will go to Chicago and beat Chicago.
Yeah, I see that.
Oof, and the aways keep coming.
Damn, they do keep coming. The Chargers are going to New England to play the Patriots, and I know they got Drake Brady over there, but I don't know. This is Justin Herbert. He's playing good football right now.
Yeah.
I expect the Chargers to win this game.
All right. Then the Broncos are playing the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to beat the Broncos. I need it. I want it. I got to have it. I feel like the lady on Wipeout.
I need the money. I need the money. I need the money.
I'm going to put an asterisk on that. Actually.
Oh, you think the Broncos are going to beat the Bengals?
Yeah, I have a weird
How
feeling about
dare
this
you,
one.
Skiff? You going to do that to me? The whole asterisk? All of the all the repercussions from an asterisk?
I know. And luckily my daughter doesn't listen to this either. She would be like, "What?" Okay, next up we got the Rams playing the Cardinals in LA. Rams are going to win it. The Cardinals kind of showed their ass last week. And now they're eliminated, so who the fuck knows who they actually put on the field, to be honest. So yeah, go Rams.
All right. The Colts are playing the Giants, who are a fake football team. So I think the Colts. I almost want to say the Giants will win this, but they're not. I wish it was a different team because I need the Colts to lose a game, but the Colts are going to beat the Giants.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Jets playing the Bills. The Bills won an ugly football game. Did not look good versus the Patriots, but I think they're going to get right all over the Jets. Bills win.
All right. The Packers are playing the Vikings.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's going to be a great game. Might be game of the week. But I think the Packers are going to actually win this game. Packers defense is going to, they're going to be remind us that Sam Darnold can give the ball away, and the Packers are great at taking it away, and that's going to be the difference when they.
That's true. Yeah, that one's going to be hot. Next up, we have another potential game of the week: Raiders versus Saints.
A shit bowl brought to you by Xlex.
I thought
terrible.
Is this the one we said we're gonna like make it an official flip 'em pick 'em coin flip game?
No, I thought we were gonna do that with Titans Jaguars.
Oh yeah, we got a few of these shitty.
We could do it with this one too, but
Oof.
yeah, I don't know. This is tough. This is tough. You know what? I'm picking the Raiders because fuck the Saints.
Okay, I know somebody would be happy to hear that. All right, I think the Panthers been getting overlooked, and they just won a game they shouldn't have won on paper, and now they're going against the Bucs, who need a get right game, and the Bucs will win. They got the best player in football under center.
I hope you're wrong.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay, here we are. Titans, Jaguars. We agreed before we came back in that neither one of us has a fucking clue who's going to win this football game. So we're going to let the coin decide.
Yeah, undefeated coin.
Let's go. Should we go
heads Titans, tails Jags, right?
Heads Titans, tails Jags. Okay, here we go. Son of a bitch. I dropped the quarter.
Okay.
I got another one right here. Here we go. All right. It's heads. I guess I'm Titans.
Titans. Oof. We're putting our faith in these guys. All right. Then we got the Dolphins are playing the Browns. I just think the Dolphins should beat the Browns and will beat the Browns. If not, they'll be in the same boat as the Cardinals, where they had a chance, played a bad team, and lost. So they'll beat the Browns.
All right, next we got Cowboys going to Philly to play the Eagles. The Eagles looked like shit last week. They are going to be highly motivated to curb stomp the Cowboys, which I fully expect them to do. Eagles win.
Put an asterisk on that, man.
Oh.
Kenny Pickett. I don't think he comes out of concussion protocol that fast. I think the Cowboys keep rolling.
We'll see.
The Falcons are playing the Washington Commanders. I actually think your Falcons are going to beat the Commanders. I really
like the sound of that.
The Commanders, people forget about their defense is kind of porous sometimes, and that Falcons run game is kind of strong, and their defense is good too. We'll see.
I like it. I'm hoping.
Penix doesn't seem to be as prone to turnovers. We'll see.
Last but not least, we got the Detroit Lions playing the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers are eliminated. The Lions got the Vikings on their heels. They can't afford to drop any games if they want that number one seed. So, I'm going to go with the Lions on this one.
Okay.
We did it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
All right. You got a sexiest matchup at all?
There's a couple.
I could say mine. I know mine already, man. My sexiest matchup, my Barry White sexiest matchup is gonna be the Packers-Vikings, man. You know I like these division rivalries, and there's a lot to play for. And I think the Vikings got a little bit to prove, man. They're one of these teams that's like, y'all still don't believe in us and we only lost 2 games? Come on. So they're trying to get that number one spot. Or have they lost 3? But regardless, they're trying to get that number one spot from the Lions, hoping they slip up. They're 13-2, but I think that's going to be a sexy one. What you got?
I'm gonna stick with my boys. I'm gonna go Falcons Commanders prime time. You got these 2 rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
One of them is still a bit of a mystery box in Michael Penix. And I think this is going to be one hell of a matchup. Atlanta's defense is playing better. I agree with you. I think the Commanders are there for the taking. As electric as Jaden Daniels is, they do make mistakes.
Yeah. It's going to be good.
I think we could get after him. And nothing, I mean, shit. If the Falcons are going to give me a Christmas victory, ain't nothing sexier than that.
And then sticking with the theme, man, my upset of the week is actually that game. I think the Packers are going to shock us. And and beat the Vikings, who are favorite. Then again, the bigger upset is the Falcons over the Commanders. So I got 2 upsets right there that I think are going to happen. So we might have an interesting week of upsets. What you got?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna stick in my division. I'm gonna go Carolina Panthers to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's
where the upsets come, man. These the division games.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Damn, I feel like we did it, bro.
We did.
We did that. That boy did that.
He did this.
Man, it did do just did this. Oh, was that the horn? When you hear that horn, that means either something spectacular just happened or something fantastic is on the way. And we just reviewed Week 16, preview Week 17. Good luck to your teams, unless your team is the fucking Browns. Fuck the Browns.
Yeah, fuck the Commanders.
Yes, this has been Jonathan Rollins.
Let's give me Zara.
With SveNFL. Merry Christmas, everybody. And
yeah, Merry Christmas, y'all.
And then we're going to have to do this whole thing again because I talk too much. But happy holidays. Peace.
Later, y'all.